Welcome all. So what we got going on here is we got the B series buyer's guide. So some of you might be familiar with them, some of them might not, but here's what we're going to start with. Okay, so the B1, also known as the B14, was one of the first ones that came out. When it first came out, it had a 130 motor in it. It had non-proportional steering and I believe it was NiCad. I don't remember if it was NiCad or nickel metal hydride batteries. Is what first came out with these. Eventually, they went to the lithium polymer batteries, and they went to full proportional, which was good. One thing about these, no windows, no window glass. If you wanted to, you could probably put some in here. I don't know if there's provisions to kind of stick it in there. And on these, the battery goes under the hood here. And then we got four-wheel drive here. This is a little bit older one, which is the 180. The newer ones you're going to find are, they're going to have the counter-rotating gearbox in them. This one has metal drive shafts because the drive shafts were hitting on the skid plate. And so, yeah, they are leaf spring. Actually, all the B series are leaf spring with a flat C-channel chassis. And so, yeah, this is full four-wheel drive. Basically, this, you take out of the box. You don't have to do anything to it other than throw the battery in it, turn it on with the radio. There's nothing to really stick on it or anything, unless WPL did offer a kit until recently, and they're kind of going away from that. As far as upgrades, you can do 2-speed gearbox, you can do metal axles, so there are some upgrades there. Okay, and then on the other four-wheel drive of these, we got the B24 here. I've added the canvas top for the back of it, which is pretty cool. This is kind of pretty much the same thing. Kind of started out the same thing. To access the battery on this, it is a cab over design. And so to get to the battery and electronics, you got to tilt the cab forward. Okay. They do all have headlights, by the way. And then, yeah, this one's much of the same. Okay. So then, still in this era here, they had the B16, which the B14, or the B1, is essentially a bobbed one of these. This is modeled after the AM General Deuce and a Half. It's an M35A2, I believe, is the military designation for it. A lot of it is the same as the B14, or the B1. A lot of it's the same, with the exception of the rear suspension. It's got the seesaw set up on there. And then here we got the updated gearbox. So the seesaw suspension works very well going over stuff. The action of it's pretty cool. Again, this one also has the canvas top on it. These trucks have a little bit of a personal meaning to me, in that an uncle of mine died in Vietnam. In Vietnam, they converted some of these into what they called gun trucks. which they fortified them with sandbags and other stuff, what other armor they could come across. And there was a couple of 50 cals on the top, and basically a 7.62 millimeter on the back. And so what happened is there was a grenade thrown into it, and that's what happened. This again with all of these, no window glass. Okay. Now, next comes the B36. Okay. This is these where they get a little more interesting. Again, the battery's under the hood. One thing, now a cool thing about these have window glass for starters, and the door's open. And then it's also got this like command communications module on here, which this is 6x6. Okay, we'll turn this around. Okay, and then look, the doors on the command module open as well. There is nothing inside. You could probably put some stuff in there if you wanted to. And then there are doors on the back that open. It's got a spare tire that swings out. So that is a very interesting one. Okay, and these were out for a while. Okay, so then for a couple of years, WPL teased with another version of the B36. All they did was show a picture of it. Well, it finally came out, and this is the result. It is the same as this, basically, except for it has a little rocket launcher thing on the back. And then this has the opening doors. This has the glass, which pretty cool. And they make all kinds of upgrades for these. There are 6x6 upgrades. You can do metal drive shafts. You can do metal axles. 2-speed gearbox, a lot of the same stuff. Now, we got this one, with the trailer. That is the B36-3. The basic cab of it is pretty much the same as this truck. And it's got a wire between the two, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. And you got the trailer. And these ramps in the back, they are controlled by a third channel on the remote to lower up and down, so that way you could actually like drive something on there if you wanted to. Now, I have done a little bit of messing around. I actually just got this truck. The E1, which is a tank, kind of like a tank, that will fit on there. The 4-wheel drive ones will fit. However, these 6x6s do not fit on this trailer, unfortunately. But I mean, other than that, there's not really anything different from a standard B36, being that it just has the trailer on there. Yeah, so this is basically everything they offer in the B series. Some of these do come in different colors. I believe these three here come in this one and the B1. They come in, the other color they come in is they come in like a desert color. And then the B24 comes in like a blue color, would be like kind of like a civilian rig, which is pretty interesting. Now there is some modification potential. They don't make a lot of cosmetic upgrades. One thing I would really like to see with these is to have somebody come out with guns to mount on them, and maybe a small trailer with I forget what they call that. Basically a cannon. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, I pretty much have the whole collection. I do have the E1 coming, um, so this should be interesting. Um, now, if you're a builder, yeah, you can do some cool things with these. If you were, however, to give this to a kid, you want to be kind of careful of that because there are some small parts here that do come off. The B16 and the B14 don't have that problem as much. The mirrors come off on the mirrors, and this little spotlight come off on this one. And these have a lot of stuff that come off of them. They've got mirrors, they've got the spotlight, they've got the air intake, and then like this one's got the little handle sticking out in the back. This one's got knobs on stuff that could possibly be swallowed. So if you got young kids around, you really need to be careful with some of these and keep them kind of out of reach because there are parts they can swallow. But anyways, these are very interesting rigs. If you're into like military stuff, I would highly recommend them. These are so cool. Anyways, if you have any, feel free to ask any questions in the comments. And be sure to like and subscribe.